into the cellar to, to prime the beer to go up to the look upstairs. And into the cellar in this pub in Bath to switch the tank on to get the beer upstairs. And while he was there, he saw a Roman legion walk straight away through the wall, straight past him, and out the wall on the other side. But being a policeman, he noted the insignia on their shields. And he didn't say anything about it, but he said to the publican what he'd seen, and the publican said, "Oh yes, that's quite normal. I've seen those myself more than once." Anyway, he didn't say anything when he got back to work because they'd have thought he was crackers. But when he retired, he researched the insignia on their shields and found they were a unit stationed in Bath. Because he knew who they were then.
Was it near the Roman baths?
In Bath, I don't know. I haven't the foggiest idea where the pub was.
Yeah.
But they'd been stationed there.
Wow, so other people had seen the ghosts going through as well.
The publican had.
Wow, so my mum is actually talking about some ghosts that were spotted going through a pub cellar. How many years ago?
God knows, I don't know.
But anyway, that's the history of Bath. My mum is telling you the history of Bath.
Yeah.
And the haunted history of Bath. A haunted history, I will say one, about the bloke my dad was working with, the young kiddie who saw the feathered lady that came from the Whirl encampment in Western Woods. The stone bricks on that house were made, the bricks on the house came from the encampment apparently. And my father was waiting in the van with his friend, or I think the day my dad wasn't working that particular day, but the apprentices were. And the man went down in the cellar and they actually, the guy was in the cellar and he turned around to get his tools and there was an old lady in a feathered cape from what was the Roman hill fort. Or was it hill, not Romans, you know what I mean.
Yeah, feathers head to foot.
Yeah, and he saw her, and apparently the workman told my dad this bloke jumped a 6 foot high wall higher than that.
He just ran straight down the front garden.
Yeah, and he didn't even know.
Onto the pavement, and it was about 6 foot
drop. Yeah, and
he ran off down the road.
And it took him years before he could come out and talk about it. That's how, and that's Weston-super-Mare. That is actually, guys, this is Weston-super-Mare we're talking about.
And Bob's dad went in to get his tools.
Yeah, because the kid was too afraid to go back to the apprentice.
Yeah.
Is our house haunted? This house?
I don't think so.
You've seen a cat run past you?
Well, I thought so out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
And when I was upstairs, I'd feel bump and purr, and I think it was Mr. Black.
Yeah.
We treated him well. He was happy with us.
Yeah.
And that was as far as I was concerned.
There's a lot of orbs tonight, Mum. A lot of orbs in this room.
What?
Orbs.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Loads on the video, so they're, yeah.
Everybody had heard of the hum. It was late at night. And they'd complained. And they'd complained about the hum. But they hadn't sorted it out. And I came down. The eye was on the wardrobe. And it was about that long. About that wide. And red. And I wasn't bothered with it. And I came down and looked out all the windows. No, and you could still hear the hum. Everything was perfectly all right. Nothing untoward was going on. I went upstairs and the eye was still there.
And it was shaped like a proper eye, but quite big.
It was about that long.
Wow.
And about that wide.
Yeah.
But I was comforted. I thought it was my mum keeping an eye on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to bed and I cuddled up with Bob. And in the morning, it was bright sunlight and I never saw it again.
What do you think caused that?
God knows.
Because you'd had your accident. Do you think that was something like it was?
I don't know.
Interesting. Any other ghost experiences in this house?
Only when Bob, well, when I heard the door close.
Yeah, we've had that before in here, haven't we? Where I've had it.
Yeah, you've had it.
You've had it where you think someone's just usually before they're due and the door closes on its own.
Yeah, well,
You hear it, you don't see anything.
no.
And you've had it like before Dad's was due in and you hear it clunk, and I heard it before my friend's brother came to pick her
You
up.
did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
And there was no wind that day, so it was just really, really, really strange.
I went out I said to Bob, I said, I'll be all right in a minute, Bob. I'll be with you in a minute.
And there was no one there.
And I came through and nothing happened. I thought, well, that was strange. I went into the hall. The door was still closed. I opened it quietly. There was no one in the drive.
Yeah, and it was
I
Scandinavian.
went straight up, looked up the road. There was no one in the road.
Yeah.
So I came back in, closed the door. When Bob came in about 10 minutes later, he said, oh, that's quite normal. That's known in Scandinavia. When you hear that, I should be home in about 10 minutes. But I was jolly spooked.